You know, the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League in the 1980s, one name stood out for talent, dedication to hockey, goal scoring, assists, leadership. No, it's not talking about his first name, but the word Lemieux wasn't just Mario that had a great Q career in the late 70s, early 1980s. His older brother Alain was very dominant for his era, and for a lot of people, he's kind of the forgotten superstar of the Q in the early 1980s, especially when he's played with Torreville. So today we're going to be talking about the very talented and the very good bench boss, Alain Lemieux. Now, Alain Lemieux was selected in the 5th round, 96 overall by the Blues in the 1980 NHL draft. Now, 6 feet 185. First came to major prominence for a lot of people in the Maritimes and across the world with his top play with Ville Imau in the Quebec AA League in 78. Now, 79, he played with Montreal and Chicoutimi of the Q, combined 22 goals in 70 games, including 54 points. Now, Montreal took him as a 3rd-round draft pick in the 77 Q draft, and that talent really showed later on. Here's what happened. In his draft year, ladies and gentlemen, 1980, 142 points in 72 games, including 47 goals, 95 assists. In the playoffs, 20 points in 12 games. Now, 81, he went from Chicoutimi to Trois-Rivières. Now, he averaged a goal a game pace in 81 with Three Rivers, 166 points in 69 games, 68 goals. But his playoff totals were immense. 49 points in 19 games, including 18 goals. So 86 goals that season. Now, 82, he was sent to Salt Lake for seasoning. He had 83 points in 74 games in a regular season and 10 points in 10 playoff contests. Now, he had 3 games with the Blues that year. Now, 83, he spent most of the season in St. Louis. His rookie campaign, he had 34 points in 42 games. Now, 84 was a rough and tumble season. He played with Springfield of the AHL, St. Louis of the NHL, and the Montana Magic of the CHL. With the Magic, he was Magic for sure. 69 points in 38 games. He had 25 points in 14 games with Springfield, and 4 goals and 5 assists for 9 points with St. Louis. Now, 85, still the St. Louis system. He eventually was traded to the Quebec Nordiques of all teams, and he drove his divisional opponents nuts in that 1985 season. Now, we remember that Quebec knocked off Montreal in the playoffs, that infamous seven-game series. Now, he was traded to Quebec for Luc Dufour, who was a quality player. But a lot of people felt that having a former Q star going against Montreal could be that extra little piece that the Nordiques would need. And sure enough, he had 6 points in 14 playoff games. 86 was a different year. He didn't make the big club, but he only played 7 games in Quebec that year. He played 64 games as a popular member of the Fredericton Express, 29 goals, 45 assists, and 5 goals in the playoffs. 87, back in the EHL, this time with the Baltimore Skipjacks, 97 points in 72 games. He was Pittsburgh property in 87, so he was a teammate of his brother for at least a little while. Now, 88, he split time with 3 AHL teams, Springfield, Hershey, and Baltimore, 17 goals in 51 games. 89, he played with Indianapolis Ice of the IHL and Saipai of the SM1 League. Now, the half-year wonder, the Albany Choppers, he played with them in 91, and some bizarre totals. He had 41 points in 33 games, but only 5 assists. He moved on to the Milwaukee Admirals and had 29 points in 30 contests. Now, Mario and Alain have obviously a big connection, but when he finally had a strong minor career before his younger brother had, it was at the Pee Wee Hockey Tournament in Quebec, the international event, when Saint John de Mata, Quebec, had one of the stronger squads. They played in the 73 and 74 tournaments. Now, the season in Switzerland, again, he became a hometown hero over there, and the time with the Skipjacks was also important as well. Now he also put his toe in roller hockey, where he played with the Roller Hockey International with the Pittsburgh Phantoms during the franchise's only season. Now, you're saying to yourself, why there was no pressure on Alain, despite the fact Keith Gretzky and Brent Gretzky, a lot of pressure on them. Alain was his own player. I saw Alain play in his prime. I saw Mario. Mario was a much bigger physical player. Alain's game was similar to a Claude Lemieux, a Mike Bullard, good playmaker, not say as good as like a Shel Dahlin or Matt Snaslin, but he was your typical 1980s style two-way hockey player. Now, he played his first NHL game, actually, versus Montreal on November 24th, 81. Now, eventually retired from hockey in 1991 with 72 points in 119 NHL games and 10 points in 19 playoff contests. Now, where it became major problems for a lot of us, he was playing with a dynamite line for St. Louis with Wayne Babbage and Perry Turnbull in 1983. Now, he also came to prominence as well, one of the better penalty shot goals of the 1980s, where he scored against Greg Stephan of Detroit on December 10th, 1983. Now, when he moved to Quebec, he decided to make a slight adjustment to his game. He had played center for the majority of his early pro career, but shifted to right wing for Quebec in 85. Now, if you look at the old tapes, you'll see why on the wing he was a dangerous guy, because he had the mentality of a centerman, but the playmaking ability of a winger. Now, the big injury that really hampered his 85 season, bad separated shoulder in September 85. Now, when he came back from Switzerland, Pittsburgh signed him as an unrestricted free agent. But unfortunately, when the game he played, Mario was out with bronchitis. So technically, it was a teammate, but he never played together on the ice. Now, wouldn't that be a photo card for OPG? Now, he's been everywhere, like I said. Chicoutimi, Three Rivers, Salt Lake, Montana, Springfield, Peoria, Frankton, Shure of Switzerland, Baltimore, Hershey, Lappeenranta, Ulla of Finland, Indianapolis of the IHL, Albany and Milwaukee of the IHL, and of course inline hockey with Pittsburgh of the RHI. Now, when he won the QMJHL playoff MVP for Three Rivers in 81, it's now called the Lemieux Trophy, but it wasn't called the Lemieux Trophy back there, so that's kind of ironic. Now, he was an AHL All-Star second team with Baltimore in 87. He was a Q second team All-Star in 81 with Chicoutimi and Three Rivers combined. Playoffs points leader with Three Rivers in 81, 49 points, and a playoffs assist leader with Three Rivers in 31. Now, with Salt Lake, he won a CHL regular season title in 82, and he also played 2 games for Peoria that went on to win the IHL regular season playoff titles, but was not part of their 85 team in the playoffs. Now, he could have done the triple, but he also played 20 games for Hershey that went on to win the Calder Cup in the regular season crown, but was not with the squad in the postseason. Now, his coaching career is quite interesting. He was a Tucson WCHL assistant coach prior to the 98 season and stayed there for the campaign. He was named Jacksonville of the ECHL head coach on July 14, 1999 and stayed with them on that position for the whole season. He was eventually named Wheeling's head coach in July 2000 and remained there for the 2000-2001 season. Now, in management, he was named LaRoche College hockey director and head coach in 98 with hope of starting a Division III program at the Pittsburgh School in 2000. And again, he was there from June until June 99 when LaRoche College abandoned its bid for a hockey program. Now, he was also Wheeling's director of hockey operations from July 2000 to March 2001. Now, the interesting trivia, Chicoutimi traded him to Three Rivers for 3 players, René LeBay, Daniel Corsi, and 81 second-round draft pick in the QMJHL draft in October 1980. Now, with the Three Rivers, he played on the big line in 81 with Norman Lafrancois and Claude Varette, one of the better lines of that era. Now, he finished second to Howchuk in the QMJHL scoring race in 81, again with that 166 points for Three Rivers. Now, he took 89-90 off, of course, we know that, and again, came back with Albany and, the Choppers, we already did a podcast on that. Now, he came out of retirement to play with Pittsburgh of the RHI in 93 and 94, and he also came out of retirement to play 8 games for Tucson, while working as the team's AC during the 98 season. Now, he's given back quite a bit to hockey in Pittsburgh, of course, and other locations. He founded the Alain Lemieux Hockey Academy in Pittsburgh after his coaching career. He also ran summer hockey schools in Hagerstown, Maryland, and Breckenridge, Colorado in 2003. He also became the lead hockey instructor at the Providence Ice Center in Windsor, Colorado for 2004. Now, we all know that Mario's in a Hockey Hall of Fame, and again, when you carve your own path, I'll give you an example. He has done much work with the Pittsburgh Ice Arena LP Group. In August 2012, the association purchased the Valley Sports Complex, an ice rink located in New Kensington, Pennsylvania, and they have office space in Pittsburgh Ice Arena. Now, in April of 2019, he was named the executive hockey director for the Admirals Hockey Club in Glen Ellyn, Illinois. So, you look at all the places he's been involved with. It's quite a story. But you look at the teams again. Some of the better Q teams of all time: Montreal, Chicoutimi, and Three Rivers. Again, Salt Lake, a great CHL team. St. Louis had a big fan base in the early '80s, obviously with Federico and everybody else. Springfield, a legendary AHL team. Montana Magic, we've done a story on that, how they were important to Montana for a while. Peoria, Quebec, Frankton, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Hershey, Indianapolis, Albany, Milwaukee, and again Tucson. He's been with some of the most popular hometown franchises. And when he was playing in Frankton, ladies and gentlemen, he had a big fan base there because they wouldn't put too much pressure on him, because I hope you take this the right way. I mean, Mario was good, but there was no comparison. Like I said, if you add 5 feet and 60 pounds to Alain, maybe it'd be a comparison, but I don't remember anybody putting pressure on Alain being another Mary Lemieux. Is because it's like Claude Lemieux's family. You look at the Sutters, every Sutter has their own style. But like I said, I only remember this. This is not an insult, but it's kind of a weird thing. Alain missed an empty net, I think against the playoffs in Montreal. What was it, Game 4? Game 5 at the Forum. Before, obviously, the infamous Game 7 we lost in overtime. And the announcer basically said, I think it was Dick Irvin, he said, thank God it's not Mario that puck be in the net. Because Alain was a hard worker, good two-way forward. But he scored goals every place he went, like 20, you look at this. Again, 61 goals at Salt Lake over 2 seasons, right? Montana had 28 goals. Frankton had 29. Baltimore had 41. One of the better Baltimore skip-tracks seasons in AHL history, even though he wasn't a factor in the playoffs. But 88, you look at what he did in the AHL. Springfield, Hershey, and Baltimore. Some big numbers there, like 51 points in. He was averaging .75 points a game, as we're saying. By the way, AHL totals, before I forget, 247 points in 201 games. Now, no matter where you go, again, Alain Lemieux is not a household name, even though Mario is. But all I know, ladies and gentlemen, that if Alain has done anything for sports, he has given back in every shape or form he could. I thought maybe, you see, this is the thing with the Nordiques gone. Alain would have probably come back as a coach for the Nordiques. I think we moved to Colorado, that the East Coast option for the Francophone coaches was pretty well, stifled, eh? But when he went to Switzerland, he was averaging a point-a-game pace. But he was always good on the plus-minus, especially with the Nordiques. Like I said, that 44 games he played in 1985, 14 goals and 28 points. That's what you needed on the third or fourth line. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the story of Mario's older brother, Alain Lemieux. If you like what we're doing with the Vintage Channel Show podcast, let us know with a like, comment, or subscribe. And don't forget, I have a much smarter younger brother who's a coder, and he works with protective services for a St. John-based company. He's much smarter than me, and all I can say is that if I'm half as talented as my younger brother, I'm happy. Mario is very talented, but Alain made his own path in hockey, and he's contributed a lot, and he should be saluted because Just because you're related to somebody, you should not be compared. You should be celebrated. Say the family is great, not just one individual player. Look at the Sutters. Remember what he said? I think Bob Cole, was it Bob Cole or Don Cherry asked I think Daryl Sutter said, "Who's the toughest Sutter?" He said, "Our mother." Sums it up right there. Have a good day. Bye.